Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this morning, very briefly, the word I want us to talk about is barak, barak. So barak, as we all know, like barakah, mubarak, all of its variations, has been translated to mean blessings. Like it's almost like a given now. We just translate it naturally to blessings. But there are also other words in Arabic that are translated to blessings. So really quickly, what does barak really mean in classical Arabic? How did it come to be referred to as blessing? You see, and by the end of this, I guess you would have a broader understanding of what it means. So barak in classical Arabic terms actually is more of security than blessing. And I guess security is a kind of blessing. Eh, Let me explain. So barak is said of a camel when you arrange them in a circular. You see, when the Arabians back in the day, when they would go on long voyages across the desert at night, so that they are well protected from the elements or from the animals and stuff, they would arrange the camels to sit in a circle. So they would form like a circle and make their tent in the middle of that circle and sleep overnight. And the benefit of that is more or less they are creating a fence around them. And camels are sluggish to stand up and all of that. And so they are well grounded in the ground and all of that. And so if anything is to happen, they would know. So it's a form of security, you see. And that is what they call barak. Arranging camel in that format to form like a barrier or a fence is what is called barak. And you see that in its iterations today, where you have in the army, they have like the barracks. You see, the army barracks, and I think that's where it's from. But the history is lost on that front. But I think I'm pretty convinced that that's where they got that word in the military to refer to their stations as barracks. Anyway, so this is barak, and an example happened in the time of the Prophet. I'm reminded of Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab is, of course, the guy we know that Surah Al-Masad was revealed to rebuke. And one of the things that he did was that his son, Utayba, who had already contracted to marry the Prophet ﷺ, one of the Prophet's daughters, when the Prophet then came with Islam and all of that, Utayba divorced the Prophet's daughter. Not only did he divorce the Prophet's daughter, he accosted the Prophet in public, tore his shirt, insulted him, and then spat on him. Like it was just an ugly thing. And so the Prophet then put a curse on him and said, may one of Allah's dogs avenge me, basically. And so Utayba left the scene and all of that. And subsequently, he was to go on a journey somewhere north, I think Syria or something. Then Abu Lahab told the people that were accompanying his son that they should make sure they do an extra barak for his son because of the Prophet's curse on him. And that's an example of knowing the truth. Like he knew. I'm reminded of kafir when we spoke about kafir a couple of days ago. People that know the truth, but out of spite, ego, and what have you, cover it up. He knew there was substance to his curse. He knew there was substance to everything he said, and so he wanted to take precaution and told the guys to make a barak around him on their journey and all of that. And so they did. But as Allah would have it, they woke up one morning and a wild animal had come, had scale the fence, scale the barak, and tore him up and killed him. And so that was an example of barak. That was an example of barak being used. And you find that the way it is even used in the Quran, in du'as, you see, and a simple example is the way it's being used in prayers, before I go into an example, is that it comes like at the end of a prayer. So that you ask for, I want this, I want this, I want this, and barakah, put barakah. So when you say put barakah, you are basically saying, let it be protected. This is a form of blessing, and it's also a form of protection. It's first protection, security around it. So, and a simple example is, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalam, I'm already asking for peace. Alaikum wa rahmatullahi, mercy, wa barakatuh. You see? So after asking for peace and mercy, salam and mercy and rahmah, then I'm asking for barak. You see, you find in a lot of dua, Rabbi anzilini munzalan mubarakan wa anta khairul munzilin. You see, you find it was that's Prophet Noah's prayer. You find he already asked for nazl, and then he asked for barak. Barak comes after. Barak comes after. Almost every dua you can think of, you find that after asking for whatever the person wants, then they ask for barakah, and barakah is what protects it. So if you just ask and you don't ask for barakah, perhaps it might not last long. So when you ask for barakah, then it's protected, and nothing can come in between it, nothing can damage it. It's protected for a long time. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa sallim. So that's briefly what barak means, and hopefully as you recite the Quran, subsequently, whenever you find barak, you have this mind of security and all of that, protection, and hopefully it makes you understand the Quran, Allah's words, deeply. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa sallim taslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.